What's up guys, in this video we're going to be doing a comparison of the new iPad to the iPad 2. The black one is the new iPad and the white one is the iPad 2. So let's jump right into this. We're going to be covering everything as far as design, like what's changed in that, the specs, the Retina display, the cameras, pretty much everything that's new in the new iPad compared to the old iPad 2. So let's jump right into this. First off with the design, the new iPad is slightly thicker and heavier, not really much of a difference though. The new iPad is 9.4 millimeters thick, whereas the old iPad 2, well, you can't really call it old, I guess, but it's 8.8 millimeters thick, so it is a tiny bit thicker. You're not going to be able to tell on the camera. You can't even really tell looking at it, but yeah, they're pretty much the exact same thing. You may be able to tell a little bit of difference. As far as the thickness, you can't really see it when you're holding it in your hand. If you put them up right beside each other, you can kind of tell a difference, but that's about the only way. Now, as far as weight, the new iPad does weigh a little bit more, and you can tell a difference on that. The new iPad is 1.44 pounds, whereas the iPad 2 is 1.33 pounds. So yeah, there is a little bit of difference there, but that's not too much at all. It doesn't make a difference when you're using it or anything like that, but you can, if you picked up one and then picked up the other, there's a slight little difference, you can tell. So other than that, the design hasn't really changed that much. It's pretty much just a tiny bit thicker. It looks exactly the same, and you can't really tell a difference. So I'll go ahead and set that back down. So there you go, there's the design, nothing really new. The specs. The new iPad, of course, has the A5X processor with quad-core graphics, whereas the iPad 2 has the A5 processor. So the newer processor on the iPad is just a little bit tweaked, a little bit better, and has the quad-core graphics, and it's going to help out that new Retina display, which that's what we'll talk about next. Let's talk about the Retina display. Now, I did a full video talking about the Retina display on the new iPad. If you want to see that, I'll give you a link in the video right now, as well as in the description down below. Let's go ahead and turn both of these on. You probably won't be able to tell the difference. It is hard to give you a good idea of how much better this looks on camera, but the new iPad Retina display looks so much better. Everything is more crisp, clear. It just looks so much better compared to the old iPad 2. Not that the iPad 2 screen looks bad, it's just the new iPad looks way better. And I'll show you some pictures and stuff in a minute just to give you an idea of that, because the pictures is where it shines on this thing. So the new Retina display is a resolution of 2048 by 1536 with 264 pixels per inch, whereas the iPad second generation, or iPad 2, has a resolution of 1024 by 768. And it has 132 pixels per inch. So that makes the new iPad have 4 times more pixels than the iPad 2. So that's a big difference, and you can definitely see it. Again, probably not displaying it very well on video. It also has 44% better color saturation, which I'll go ahead and actually give you a quick little idea of how much better that looks by looking at some of the photos. And I did this in my Retina display video, so if you want to look at this more in depth, you'll see that. So let's just open up this, because this is a good comparison. The screen brightness, by the way, is pretty much right in the middle on both iPads. And just look at that. Look how much better and brighter that looks. So the screen saturation looks so much better. This is so much more crisp. And yes, this is the same picture. I actually took this from my iPad, my new iPad. And it's over photo stream, so this is the same exact picture. Yeah, it just looks so much better. It's more green, it's more bright, looks so much better on the iPad's Retina display, and that's pretty amazing since it was took from the new iPad. And I can zoom in on this. It looks so much better when you zoom in, as far as like clarity, I guess, and you can like look at that. Look at the difference on that. I'm not sure how well it's displaying on camera, but I'm telling you, this looks so much better than this. So the pictures, that's my favorite thing about the new Retina display, is just being able to see pictures in that super high quality. Plus, the iPad or the new iPad can display 19 megapixel images, like if you put it on there from your camera. I'm not sure about the iPad 2, but I know it definitely can't do near that much. So yeah, the photos on here look so much better. I'll actually show you some more. Here's one that I really like that I took from the new iPad. It just looks so good. Let me open it up here and I'll zoom in. Can you tell the difference? I'm actually zoomed in a little bit too much there, but there is a big difference in that. This just looks so much better. Actually, on camera right now, you can't really see it. That could be because my light's coming from this way. you're just gonna have to trust me on this. The new Retina display, as far as pictures, looks amazing. Alright, so now let's look at video playback from the new iPad to the iPad 2. What I'm actually gonna be doing is playing back my YouTube video that I uploaded. I actually recorded this straight from the new iPad's camera and uploaded it to YouTube in 1080p. So let's go ahead and tap both of these and let's see how they look compared. Can you already tell how much better this one looks? Because I can, like, just looking at it.
This video is being filmed
I'm in sync, that's funny.
iPad, the third generation.
Can you just see how much better the colors look on this compared to that?
Camera quality test to see how well the camera works. Right now I'm in my office. It's kind of awkward to hold this because I'm holding it backwards. Once I turn around, it'll be a little bit less.
So yeah, there you go. There's a quick little idea of how much better the video quality looks. This is YouTube, and it is already like bringing down the quality just streaming it like this. But obviously, video playback is going to look better on the new Retina display. Not that much better in my opinion, but it does look a little bit better as far as the colors, and it's just more vibrant and stuff like that. So the colors is kind of a big thing to me because that can make it look so much better. Like if you look right here, it's kind of like dim, whereas right here it's a little bit more light. I don't know how well you can tell that. So the colors are a big thing to me as far as video playback. I don't really care that much about quality, but it does have a better quality video playback on the new iPad, obviously. And now let's talk about the cameras on the new iPads. If you can see this, the new iPad has a little bit of a bigger camera, whereas the iPad 2 is a little bit smaller. This one is 5 megapixels. Can't actually remember the megapixels of that, but this one does 1080p HD video at 30 frames per second, and this one does 720p HD video. This one has image stabilization, so when you're moving the camera a lot, it looks a lot better, and it keeps the video more stable. That works well. I'll actually show you a video quality test as well as some pictures here in just a second. But yeah, so the cameras on the new iPad is obviously going to look a lot better. They actually compare this to the camera on the iPhone 4S, which I can agree with. It looks pretty much just as good as the iPhone 4S. Obviously, the iPhone 4S has the 8 megapixel camera, but from what I can tell, it doesn't make too much of a difference. So now what I'm actually going to do is show you some pictures as well as video that I took from the iPad 2 and the new iPad, and I'll put text in the bottom corner so you can see what I'm actually taking this from. So let's go ahead and show you this, and I'll come back after it's done. So there you go, there's a look at some pictures and video taken from the new iPad compared to the iPad 2. I think the new iPad's camera is 10 times better than the iPad 2's camera. Actually, when I was outside taking those pictures, I was looking at the iPad's 2 camera, or the actually screen, and I was like, why does this look like this? It's like blurry. I think it's out of focus, like it's not focusing right. But then I looked closer and I realized that I was just used to the new iPad screen, and it actually was in focus on the iPad 2. So yeah, even the screen itself makes the pictures look better because you can actually see them how you should be able to see them in full quality, and they look amazing on the new iPad. Next up, let's talk about gaming. Now, it is really hard to show you gaming. For another look at it, you can actually go look at my Retina display video that I talked about a minute ago. But what I will show you is just how much faster video games load, or not video games, but the apps and games, because it does have the quad-core graphics now on the new iPad. So I have noticed it makes a difference as far as just the games loading faster, looking better, obviously. And yeah, let's go ahead and actually show you. I'm going to open up Real Racing 2. So let's open this up. Same time. And you actually see how much faster the new iPad will be than the old iPad. It's already started the video. It's already a few seconds in. This one just started. Yeah, it's not a big difference, but it makes for a big difference, in my opinion. See how much faster that is? And I tap these at the same time. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and skip this. It also looks better on the new iPad, obviously, with the Retina display. This is just so much clearer, brighter, whereas that looks dim and dull, I guess. And this is all like shiny and stuff, so the text, the graphics, everything just looks better on the new iPad. Actually, the old iPad 2 beat the iPad right there when it loaded that up. This is also going to run smoother. Obviously, I can't show you on this because it's kind of complicated, but you're going to have to take my word for it. Gaming on the new iPad looks much better. As far as taking full advantage of the quad-core processor, we can't really judge that right now. Why? Because there hasn't really been any games specifically made for the new iPad. There have been games updated for Retina display graphics, which does make it look a lot better. You can't really tell here because that's a daylight scene and this is a night scene, but yeah, it actually does look a lot better. I actually open up this app, but as I was saying, yeah, you can't really compare because there's not really any good games made specifically for the new iPad just yet. But take a look at this. See how much brighter that is than that? This is the same game, looks exactly the same, and this just looks so much better. The lines look so much better. This isn't really a graphic intensive game, so I can't really show you as far as like how much better it plays. But just look at the colors on that and look at the colors on that. That looks dull, that looks bright and vibrant. Now, one of the new features in the new iPad that the iPad 2 doesn't have is Siri dictation. Now, what this means is you can actually do text to speech. So you can hit the little microphone button, you say something, and it turns it into text. This is not full Siri. The new iPad is obviously fully capable of running Siri, even the iPad 2 is with a jailbreak, but whatever, I just wanted to show you this and show you how it works. So I'm going to open up Safari, I'm going to tap to Google search, there's a little microphone button right there. Let's go ahead and search something. I'm just going to search how to do a kickflip. That was the first thing that came to my mind. And you see, it works really fast. So how to do a kickflip, and it understood me. Now, one thing I actually did notice, now this is not compared to the iPad 2, but it seems like Siri dictation is actually working better on the iPad 2 than it does the iPhone 4S. Maybe the microphone's better in the new iPad. That is one thing I noticed, or at least it seems like that to me, and it seems like it loads it up a lot faster. But again, this is just text to speech, which is really, if you're wondering, the only feature I really use with Siri. I use that a ton. One other feature I use with Siri is actually doing appointments and stuff like that. But anyways, that's not related to this video. But yeah, Siri dictation works really nice on the new iPad from Apple. And there we go. It got it. Actually, I thought I said all the new iPad from Apple. But yeah, that's a new little feature in the new iPad that you won't get in the iPad 2. And hopefully soon they will have full Siri support. I think that'll just come in a future iOS software update, or at least I hope so. Maybe Apple is only going to keep Siri on the iPhone. Now let's talk about speed. Now, I'm not really going to do a speed test because there really isn't much of a difference in speed as far as opening applications and stuff like that, aside from games where, as I showed you before, I did notice a little bit of difference in that. But I don't have the 4G iPad. If you do have the 4G iPad compared to the 3G iPad 2, obviously it is a huge difference. If you just go on YouTube and search 4G speed test on the new iPad, super duper speeds, like faster than most people's home internet, which is amazing to me that we can get that. I'm actually kind of sad that I didn't get the 4G model after everybody was posting videos and screenshots of how fast their new iPad speed is over 4G. But what I will do is actually load up a website, because I did notice that websites loaded a little bit faster on the new iPad. So I'm actually just going to type in, and I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. Sometimes it was the same, sometimes it was a little bit different. Let's see if I can find the link here so I don't have to type it in. Alright, here we go. And let's see if it loads faster. So actually about the same. So there you go, there's a speed test. Again, there's not really much difference in speed. I did have, normally when I was trying this out before I was videoing, the new iPad was actually just a little bit faster at loading web pages, but that may have just been because it had a better signal speed at the time. So as far as just regular speed, I haven't really noticed a difference. And finally, let's talk about battery life. I've been using my new iPad constantly for the last few days, so I think I have a good idea of how it works. Apple says with the Wi-Fi model, you're going to get the same battery life as on the iPad 2. Now the reason for that is, even though it does have this super nice Retina display, is because the battery is actually 70% larger. So it does take longer to charge, but you are going to get the same battery life on the new iPad as the iPad 2, and I have seemed to get that. I've pretty much been getting like 10 hours on the new iPad, as well as I did on the iPad 2. Now if you do have the 4G model and you use 4G, they only recommend, or they only say you're going to get 9 hours of battery life, so I can't give you any info on that because I don't have the 4G model. But yeah, the battery life, at least on the Wi-Fi models, seems to be exactly the same. Now this isn't really part of the comparison, but one thing with the new iPad's battery is it's been causing a lot of people's iPads to heat up on the left back side, and I actually have found that. It's not bad, it doesn't really bother me, but it is not a good thing when your device is heating up, because on the iPad 2 you didn't really feel that, whereas on the new iPad you can definitely feel in one little certain spot of the iPad it's heating up. So on the back right here on the left, you do feel a little bit of warmness if you use it for a while. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this comparison and my thoughts from the new iPad to the iPad 2. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure you click the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because very soon I will be doing my full review of the new iPad, walking through everything. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.